In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an infrared or IR module. To create a module, go to My Project Resources window and then select QUnit and Devices. Right click on the window, create device. Today we are going to try to learn the infrared for a projector. So the model, I'm not going to key in the actual model number, but usually it's the model number of the projector. So for this case, I'll just put demo IR and the manufacturer demo, and the type of equipment is a projector. Connection via IR and finish. The new device driver will be automatically inserted for you. So the next thing to do for IR is that we have to capture the infrared commands for the individual device. To do that, click on the IR data button and click a new and go to new. Click on RAW. RAW will allow you to capture infrared data directly from the controller. And all you need to do is to point the infrared remote control to the infrared window on the controller and press on the button to capture. Later on in the video, I will show you how to do that. Alright, so the first function we are going to capture is the power button on the remote. Click on capture and key in the IP address of the controller if it is different from what is shown here. And the code in millisecond is the time or duration of the command. So usually 50% is sufficient for most infrared commands, except for air conditioner, whereby air conditioner commands can be up to 600-700 milliseconds. When you press on the start capture button, you have to move to the equipment and press on the power button, shooting the infrared command to the infrared window on the controller. The IP address shown here to make sure that it's the right IP address for the controller. Set the code length in millisecond if necessary. Usually for most infrared devices, 500 milliseconds is sufficient. However, for aircon, you might need to increase the length to 1000 milliseconds because some air condition may have a code length of 600-700 milliseconds. And next, click on Start Capture. On clicking Start Capture, we'll need to move to the controller and press on the remote control on the remote and press on the infrared command on the remote control and point to the controller to learn the infrared command. Okay, I will now show you how it looks like at the controller side to learn the infrared. Before pressing on the button in the CVC to start learning, point the remote control to the controller and press on it. Make sure you see the infrared blinking, the LED blinking light inside the controller. Alright, position it in a way that you see a constant LED light when you press on the the button on the remote. Okay, after you have done that, then at the CVC you can press on the start capture button and press on the button here and release it. You will need to press and release after the start capture command is being pressed at the CVC, not before. And when you press on the button, it has to be a press and release so that the command, or rather the remote control, will stop learning, will stop sending the command when you release the button. So you just press and quickly release it. Alright, after you have done that, you will get a waveform appearing in the CVC program. To start capture, just press here, Start Capture, and pressing on the remote button, firing the command to the controller, you will capture a waveform like this. This waveform does not seem correct. If you feel that the waveform is incorrect, you can do a capture again. All you need to do is to click on capture, start capture. Okay, this waveform seems more accurate. You should see a waveform with a starting pulse, quite similar to this. Alright, and some repeating pulse at the back. So we do not need a long pulse like this because the length is 500 milliseconds. Usually, the first pulse will do. So what we can do is that we can reduce it to the first pulse and try to do a test. And the test should actually, the IP address of the controller to test it from should be the same IP address as the controller we learned. And we also choose which infrared port to test the system to. So basically, after learning the codes, you will be good to actually connect the device to be controlled to the infrared port on the controller and do a test. So by doing this, click on the IR send, and the controller will actually send out the infrared command to the device. So this way we will test whether the device is working or not. So if the device works, just simply close and OK it. You will have a command being learned in the driver. You can go ahead and repeat the steps before to create as many commands as required based on the remote control of the device. After doing that, click on New Source Code, and new source code will be automatically generated in the source code tab. Originally, there are no data inside, no commands inside, but when you click on the new source code here, just select yes. The new command power will be inserted for you into the new source code tab. Note that the infrared commands always begins with the keyword IRD. Remember to leave the keyword IRD or the tag word IRD intact. Do not attempt to remove the IRD and put in another keyword for the commands. The reason being is because this IRD keyword is reserved for all infrared commands. Once you change the IRD to something else, the source code generator might malfunction. Alright, after doing this, go back to configuration, open the MyRISC project windows and drag and drop this demo IR equipment into the system and connect it to the infrared port. Alright, and we are done. To test it, go to panel 1, touchscreen window, full screen window 3. Create a third button here at the bottom. Right click on it, events, on push, and this time round I want to do a projector power command. So do a simulation again. Go to touch panel 1 simulation, temperature, and click on the button. As you can see, on infrared 1, the light blinks showing infrared signal being sent out from infrared 1. So we have come to the end of this video, and I've shown you in this video how to create a simple infrared driver for any infrared equipment. Thank you. Bye bye.